Hey there, everybody! Welcome back! We are on PV Canyon Crossing in FS22 once again. How's it going there, Dead Soul? Green Thumb Farmer, thank you very much for that. Fart number 6. And hello, everybody lurking out there on the world of Twitch and YouTube. So, yep, we are down in the bogs today. Obviously, I've got to get the rice planted, cranberries planted by the end of today. So, I thought, why not get it? Well, actually, by the end of tomorrow. But yeah, I thought, why not get it in and done? Now, there's an alternate reason why I wanted to do this, because obviously, if you haven't gotten down to the bogs yet, there is a little trick to it. But yes, hopefully you guys all had a great couple of days. Obviously, I spent most of yesterday building and moving things around in our home. So yeah, I was a little bit exhausted last night. So yeah, I didn't want to do anything, and I just ended up chilling out and playing some 7 days. Hey there, Mr. Shawnee. Oh my goodness. Oh yes. You might want to look into your diet a little bit more if you're getting that much wind, but yeah. Anywho, right, so obviously, one of the things is some people do ask, how do you work the bog area on this map? Because obviously, normally it's flooded. Oh, that is a nice hit. A 93.72. Well done there, Shawnee. How you doing, buddy, by the way? So, let me just stop right here. As you can see, the fields are actually drained. So you can go through and drain the bogs. Just a Italian sausage with peppers and onion. Oh, yeah, just the onions on their own will probably give you gas anyway. But nice. Sounds quite good. Right, so let's get this in and we'll show you what we're going to do. So, first things first, you will need to own plot 100, as well as at least one of the fields for this. Obviously, you could have all four if you really want to, but yeah, at least one anyway to start off with. And we'll get into some of the production stuff in a little while as well. So, if we come over here, so if we hit the old X key to show it, so 100 is literally at the bottom here. So you got 100, 99, 98, 97, 96. That is literally your bog areas. Now, on plot 100, once you own it, what you're going to need to do is come on over here with a wheel loader, a telehandler, something that can pick up sand. For the simple fact is, over in that corner right there, if you can just about see it in the distance, there is a constantly refilling sand pile. With that sand, once you get it into a bucket, bring it down the road here and across, and you got this trigger right here. And unload the sand into it. What that's going to basically do is create this barrier at the top of the waterfall. Once it's accepted, taken as much sand as it can. Obviously, it doesn't have to necessarily be from there. In all honesty, it could be from the desert, it could be from a mine if there's any sand mines you got out there. You can bring it down as long as it's sand. Bring it to this trigger, fill it up. Obviously, it will stop when it gets full. And what you might find is if you use like a bucket like this, for example, it may tip onto the ground, so you may have to go through and pick it up. But yeah, it's all good. But once it's full, it's full. What you'll need to do then is allow it to run through the game about half an hour, I think it is, roughly, to totally clear all of the water from these fields. Now, obviously, if you go to a high speed to try and get rid of it very quickly, it may take longer. So maybe only take up 5, maybe 10 times on your speed, but it will go within at least half an hour. That's what it was, and has always been pretty much for me. Now, once that water level is dropped, you'll then be able to get in, do your harvesting, do your seeding, ploughing, whatever. But there is a bit of a thing as well. If it starts raining while these fields are lowered with water, they will fill up temporarily from the rain. So maybe keep an eye on your weather, shall we say. Yeah, because obviously you don't want to be in the middle of harvesting and the fields flood, and yeah, it's going to cause a few issues. You could end up losing your vehicles. Just bear that in mind. But yeah, I don't think you're going to, but you should be good. But yeah, which makes life a little bit easier with obviously that water drained out of them. But yeah, obviously once you've got that, done that, that's literally all I have to do. Then get in there, get your rice sorted out, get your cranberries sorted out. Obviously that is the only crops that you should be going onto these fields. Now you can't really do much editing, shall we say, to any of these four fields. But one nice thing is on this map, in addition to this, there is many ponds around, should we say, or little lakes. So these little things right here. So this, for example, here, up by the starter farm right here, you have a little pond there. There's several others dotted around that are decent size. What you could technically do is exactly what I've done up with this one, and turned it into a field. Now, it's a little bit tricky because obviously the collision with the water triggers and stuff can make it a little bit iffy, but you can raise and lower the water in here with a tanker. Now, also in addition with these ponds as well, you will get clay out of them as well, which can go into the brick factory, for example. So obviously, like as you can see, what I've done here, I've literally just created a field within the pond itself, but also left enough area where I can come in with a truck, get that clay picked up and taken away, but it will keep regenerating, so you may want to keep this area at least cleared. So yeah, if you want to plant crops, you may want to get a decent plough just temporarily to go around and make a decent field out of it. So it's kind of, yeah, it can be done. It can be done. I've done it many seasons now. I've kind of alternated between rice and cranberry. But if you're just starting out and you need a rice or you need cranberries, maybe look into some of these little ponds because they are a lot cheaper and easier to maintain as well. But yeah, you got that one there, like I was saying. I'm trying to think where there is a little one here. I'm not sure if you get much there, but possibly at the bottom of 35 there. But yeah, you got one there by 51, which is a decent sized pond. Obviously, all of these do generate the clay as well. There's a little pond there. I don't know if I'd want to make a field out of it, but it might want to. There's one just here as well. There's a tiny one there. You could get a little field possibly, but yeah, you're not going to get a lot of it. But one of the nice things is obviously Dajnet did go through and increase the yields for both the rice and the cranberry. So technically, these four fields is all you're really going to need for planting and harvesting the rice and the cranberries. So it's a bit of a bonus there. So, but yeah, that's what we're currently doing. So we're actually down here, we're actually just down from the John Deere farm. I've actually got it situated up here on the hill. Obviously, for anybody who's watched my previous streams, yep, you know exactly. This is the bog area for my John Deeres. It's the only place on the map that has John Deeres, so I had to get them in. But yeah, it's kind of cool. But yeah, any questions, you're more than welcome to ask. Obviously, there is one thing I do need to go through, is regarding some of the factories on here. I suppose I could do it and let the hired helper carry on with the rest of the field in just a sec. I've got that little bit there I need to pick up, but or hit, should say. But yeah. Oh, so much things to remember. It's terrible, it really is. Actually, I had just talking about obviously about food, Mr. Shawnee. I had chicken balls, crispy chicken balls, with some French fries. So something nice and simple and easy. Normally we'll have like the chicken balls, crispy chicken balls with rice and like a sweet and sour sauce. But just decided to keep it plain and simple today. But yes. Oh, fun. It's very busy. It really is for me at the minute. Got so much going. It's terrible. Try to sort out my daughter's driving license. Obviously try to get this place tarted up a little bit. Oh yeah, it's busy. Right, let me take this off a second. Oop. Stay there, Mr. Wheel. Mr. Hired Helper, you can carry on with that, and I'll get that bit later on. Now, for those just starting on the map, really, what you'll probably find at some point, you'll want to get into doing the productions. And I don't know why I came into that screen, I want to come into this screen. So under the construction stuff, obviously, we've been able to add in, or DashNet was able to add in, its own category for all of the PV stuff. Now, obviously, all of the productions themselves are broken down into 4 different tiers, so tier 1, 2, 3, and 4. Each tier will require maybe a little bit more working, shall we say, to the previous tiers. So what you might find, for example, in tier 1, 2, and 4, there's grain mills in there, or grain factories for putting your grains into to make flour. Now, obviously, with the tier 1, obviously it's going to have a very small capacity, but it's going to regularly put out at least 1 to 2 pallets quite regularly, so they're very hands-on, I suppose, the best way. And obviously, if you just started out on the central farm, especially, I can't remember about the other fields, what crops they have, but when I started this save game, the crops that I had was wheat, canola, and flax. So straight away, that allows me to get at least 3 tier 1 productions. So if I come into here, for example, so first thing is obviously the wheat. So obviously in here we have a little flour mill. Obviously put that down and you can start producing flour. It doesn't need any power, it doesn't need any other anything to really get up and running. You can just put it in and it'll produce your pallets of flour. Obviously with that, with the flour that's coming out of that, you can then put it into the little oven, the tier 1 oven, small oven there, and that will then make your different types of breads from the flour. Cool. Obviously with the bread, pop it into storage. When it's time to sell it at the best price if you want to. That's what I always do. Obviously if you're just starting out, you might want to sell it quite regularly until you're a little bit better off, and you can go up to like the tier 2 version and then tier 4 version. Now, obviously, what else did I say? Canola. Obviously, canola can be made into oil. So, obviously, we've got a little oil production right there. Obviously, there is a tier 2. And I don't think we actually got any bigger than the tier 2 oil mill extended. I might be wrong. I know there's the other PV County oils, but I think that does different oils. I can't remember, but maybe. But anyway, carrying on, obviously, if you're just starting out, you want to really get into these tier 1s and get them up and running to make a little bit extra money. And obviously, the other thing was, obviously, flax. Now, obviously, with flax, you can take the flax, put it into the little loom here to make fabric, which can then be sold as fabric, or you could put it into something maybe a little bit bigger to make your clothing, for example, to make a little bit more money. Now, we'll see, like I said, once you start getting into some of these bigger productions, you'll start noticing in the list here, you're going to potentially need things like electric, labour, support, and morale. Now, one thing to mention is they are not a necessity to run the factories. They were designed to act as a booster for your productions, so you get a little bit more out than you would just regularly running them. Now, when it comes to the electricity, that is your first thing you'd want to get set up. Now, depending on how much you're going to need will depend on which generators you want to choose on how many you want to have. Now, if we come into where the power section is, under that PB mods tab, there's a whole selection of different generators in here, going from a small solar panel that will produce like 1 output per hour. You got a second one there that's like 2, maybe 3 power per hour. Also, you got wind turbines. You got a diesel generator which will do like 100 power, going right up to the big coal power plant, which is actually pre-placed in the map already. But this thing will output something like 1,000 power, I think it is, per hour. So yeah, definitely one for more of the later game stuff. But oh, excuse me, there is other ways around doing it, because as you can see, you have a steam turbine there that does 500,000 per. Is that 500,000 or just 500? That's just 500, isn't it? 500 electricity an hour. If I remember rightly, the bioheating plant does something like is it 2,500 or something per hour? But in addition, obviously, when you do start getting into some of those other factories, you're going to need a place for your trash to go. Now, one thing before we get to the production side, in addition, obviously you could have labour. Actually, that's one of the things in here. Now, labour is brought in through the housing within the map. Now, there's plenty of housing already placed throughout the map. You've just got to buy the land and supply a particular amount of power. Now, as you can see, all of these actually have how much power they need to run, and also how much is going to be output labour-wise. Now, obviously, Greenthumb Farmer also on his Trello has some buildable ones, which are quite nice, so you may want to check some of them out. They sort of go a little bit higher, shall we say. So, yeah, kind of cool. But obviously, a lot of the ones that are built into the map, to start off with, are these lower ones. So you're only going to need 2, maybe 3, maybe 5 electricity to get them up and running. Now, obviously, with those generators, they should be automatically set to default to distribute. So all you literally have to do is place them down. If it's a diesel one, you obviously got to add the diesel in, and it'll automatically start producing and distribute the electricity. If it's the coal one, obviously you're going to have to add the coal in, and that'll get it going. Obviously with the coal one, I do believe you need the labour, the support, morale and stuff in there as well, because it is such a bigger thing. So you're going to have to have a heck of a lot going just to get these running. Now, one thing to remember is obviously there is modded versions of generators or power generators. There's also base game ones. Do not use any of them. Stick with these ones that are in the pack under the PV mods tab under power. Make sure that you're using these to create your power, because the modded ones may not necessarily have the correct fill type, so you may not end up actually producing the right kind of power. Now, obviously, one additional thing with these houses, or a couple of additional things. One, they're going to also output trash automatically. They will actually distribute automatically to wherever it takes trash. So the landfill is a placeable that you can place down that will take the trash. With the trash, you can actually set it to basically convert it from trash to electricity and have it cycling back into your system, as it were. Or you just have it set to sell. I know a lot of people, myself included, with the trash, especially early on, I had it set to distributing back the electricity back into the grid, as it were. It did help just top it up. But one of the other things is labour and support. Not labour and support, the morale and support. With these houses, what was added later on is the ability to distribute cats and dogs to all of these houses to give you a top up, as it were, on labour and support. So if you've got any cats or dogs at the right age, you can actually take them over to Tashi Cats Rescue, which is actually under the Others tab, I believe it is. Yeah, right at the end here. This will take your cats and dogs in the trailer in the back there, and that will actually send it off to the different homes that require it, okay? And then obviously you'll get happy people, and you'll get morale, support, and all that sort of stuff. But yeah. So yeah, that is kind of a cool thing. Now, talking about obviously the morale and support, in addition, within the pack itself, you'll find additional buildings. So like, for example, the PV High School right here will give you a little extra support and morale. Go figure. There is several others around as well, as you can see right here. So you got a police station, there's a park, there's a library, there's a baseball field. Actually, the baseball field is built into the map. The firehouse, which is built into the map. The toy store, the bowling centre, that's built into the map. The grocery, all of these will produce what you need, morale and support-wise as well. Just supply them a bit of power, and you'll be good to go. Now, one thing to remember is always keep an eye on this power. Obviously, the more buildings you have up and running that need power, the more generators you're going to need to be placing down. So if you've only got a couple of wind turbines that output maybe what 5 electricity per hour, that's not going to do. It really isn't. You want to start getting into those higher tier generators. So bear that in mind as well, guys. Yeah. So yes, but like I said, the electricity, the morale, the support, the labor, it is not necessary to run the factories. Seems like a lot of people get hung up on having to get it in there just to produce, but you don't really need to. Okay, it'll take a bit longer to produce that much, but you can run it without it. That's the whole point of the way it's all set up this time around. It's not a requirement. Obviously, if you're on PV Wolf Creek, for example, then yeah, you want to get in, get your electric going, got to get your morale, your support, your labour for those factories. But yeah, on PV Canyon Crossing, as long as you haven't messed up the mods, you do not have to have them in those factories. But it's kind of nice, actually. It is kind of nice. I will say it is nice having those boosters, and obviously there's massive boosters as well. So with the PMS factory, which is located just off of where the animal dealer is on the map. Obviously, I mentioned about it the other day. It's just in here. Obviously, that building itself produces master boosters for some of the factories. Not all of the master boosters, but the products needed for it. In addition, obviously, the big textile factory, Aurora Textiles, will also do sacks, which can be used in some of those factories for a master booster. Um, if I remember rightly, it's the steel factory, the concrete factory, the bigger flour grain mill takes sacks to boost, master boost it, as it were. And then a lot of the stuff takes things like jars in. I can't actually think of what the heck is in there now. There's jars, containers. Where the heck is it? Is it that one? I can't remember which one it is. It's that one there. Let me find the. Let me find it. PMS. KL that's the M's. PM. There we go, PMS. So yeah, these cans, the containers, the jars, the bottles, these are all basically boosters that's coming out of here. Now, obviously, with this will take trash, so you could actually distribute your trash to here if you wanted to. Now, one thing I would say is setting up your priorities is definitely a key as well. So with the houses and community buildings, they're all set to receive electricity at priority 1, the highest priority there is. So what you may want to do is look into setting up your production so any that take electricity are maybe set to priority 2, because it starts at 1 being the highest, 10 being the lowest. Obviously, you can set it to priority 0 where it doesn't do anything. But yeah, what you want to do is definitely set up these priorities. All you literally do is come to your factory, click on the product, and obviously you can change the priority right down here. But obviously with my trash, obviously I want this to come to here first. But what I've also got down is the landfill, which is set to priority 2. So if this fills up, what will then happen is any extras that I get produced trash-wise from my factories, they will then cycle through to the landfill to then be turned either into money or into more power that then gets cycled back in to the grid, which is kind of cool. But yeah, all of what I would recommend is the plastic, the aluminum, glass. Make sure that they're all set to storing, because these will then go into making a lot of these products that are further down on the list. Now, obviously, some people will actually, when they're first starting out, use some of these products for other factories. That's You can if you want to, go for it. Obviously, one thing to remember is obviously the glass factory. There is a placeable one that's pre-built that you just place down, good to go. So it's quite easy really. But yeah, apart from that, it's kind of cool. But yeah, every single factory. Oh yeah, it is. So yeah, so there is obviously like the higher one. So like for example, right there, there is your recipe for sunflower oil. So it's going to need at least 800 sunflower per hour in this. And obviously that is then, if I didn't have all this in here, it would give me, I can't remember. Uh, I think it was it 900 per cycle, so per hour. Obviously, when you start adding in these boosters and the master boosters, it really can crank it up. So bear that in mind as well. So yay! But yes, if you're not using sunflower, it's a kind of a nice one just as a cell type oil, as it were. But yeah, definitely a good way of making a little bit of money. But yeah, hopefully that helps and makes sense a little bit, maybe. But yeah, especially when it comes to the power, make sure that you are using the PV generators and not ones off of the in-game mod hub or any base game ones, because they may not necessarily be outputting the correct products. Excuse me, I had a little bit of a burp there. I do apologise. But yeah, so there's that, there's that. I think for the minute at least that's mostly everything covered. Hey there, T Miller, how you doing, buddy? So yes, so what have we covered so far in the last couple of streams? So the fishing, we've covered really getting started on the bridges and such, the buildables, the factories, electricity, labour support, morale. Obviously I've mentioned about the bogs here, and how to drain them and get going. Yeah, I think we're pretty much there. Obviously, the seasonal events have covered that. The events, what you call it, the mining shack as well for getting your stones and gems out of the mining area. That's all been covered last stream. So yeah, I think we're on top of it already. Holy heck! Yay! Actually, what I think about, where is it? So I need to do a couple of shout outs. So there is one for Mr. Green Thumb, and we'll give one for Mr. T Miller, who is currently in rehab. Hey, finally. Nice, 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 nice. Good, glad to hear it. How is it going? I'm guessing they're getting you up on your feet a lot. And Cyberfly, welcome in. Thank you very much for that follow. Much appreciated. How you doing today? Hopefully it's been an awesome one so far. Oh, itchy eye, itchy eye. Yes, rehab is definitely a fun thing to do. I've helped a fair few people and seen a fair few people. Big Daddy made you do it? Oh, bless him. Yeah, I love Big Daddy. He's great. He really is great. Yeah, he is a great member of the community. Obviously, um, he's helped me out a few times with things. I know he's big on his fishing planet at the minute. I'd love to see him back on a PV map, in all honesty, rather than fishing. But who knows, one days. But yeah, Big Daddy told everyone to follow this alpaca guy. I do like the kind of. Oh, that is great. Yeah, so obviously I primarily do Farming Simulator on my streams. Obviously the last couple of weeks I've been kind of going back to previous maps that Dashnet, a map maker, has been doing. Obviously last week and the week before I was back on FS19 doing some PV County, helping to answer some questions and such people had over there. This week I'm back on PV Canyon Crossing for FS22, and obviously next week I'll be back into FS25 on PV Rivers Remastered. So yeah, there's a few things actually I need to mention about 25 at some point. Because yesterday, I don't know how many people have seen it, yes, but yesterday couple of interesting mods came out. One, there is a mod now out that will allow you to adjust mirrors on vehicles and tractors and such. Kind of cool. I was having a little play around with it last night myself. I like it. It's nice you can actually adjust the mirrors either side so you get a better view behind you. So, yay. Um, but in addition, there's also a container production that was released. And basically what it does, it takes your base game pallets and will convert them into 20,000 litre containers. Hey there, Farmer Marks, how you doing, buddy? It's a very interesting mod, should we say. The only issue is none of those containers are accepted in productions. From what I can gather, the only way you can use them is to sell products currently. But it has given me an idea on how to sort out the containers for our PV maps. I'm kind of thinking take the same idea. I've already started converting the container visuals from 19 to 25. I've got one 99% there. Got to get it in game, test it, check any errors and stuff. But the hope is with Barrow Logistics and your final products within the map could technically be set up to output from Barrow Logistics as a container type of. I'm still umming and ahhing about the capacity, but we're kind of aiming for maybe around about 50,000 litre containers. Which would make life selling, if you're doing it manually, a lot easier. Now, the only thing I am not quite sure about is they're not refillable containers yet, but these particular ones, I don't think they're refillable, but it is basically a production that will actually I'll show you quickly. It will take the pallets in. Actually it took me about 2.5 to 3 months to produce one 20k pallet container, I should say, with the whole thing in there. So it's kind of the cycles or something needs to be increased if you want it to be done instantly type thing. So there's going to be a lot of playing around, testing. But yeah, if I come over here a sec, let me bring up the mod hub first of all, and I'll show you what I'm on about. Da, 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 da. We'll get to the desktop. That'll make life a little bit easier. There's a few mods being released today as well, which is kind of nice to see. Where the heck is it? Right, so there's the adjustable mirrors mod. That's kind of cool. I like that one. I'm going to share that while I'm here. So if you're playing 25, I would highly recommend grabbing this one if you do a lot of in-cab views. Let's put it that way. There's a whole key bind thing that you can use to switch between mirrors and adjust. One thing I did find out is some of these controls are also being used with the enhanced vehicle mod. So you may need to change a couple. I had to go in and change the right control 4 and 5 key bindings. So obviously 5 does the change the mirrors, 4 does the tilt to the left. I ended up doing left control 4 and left control 5 for those to work for me personally. But apart from that, it's kind of cool, yeah. But it allows you to actually move these mirrors into a different position. It's really kind of cool. I like it. I like it. I like it. Now I haven't really gone through too many vehicles, but I tried a couple of tractors, the Homer Terra variants, and my pickup truck, and they all seem to work fine. So, yep, definitely worth giving it a try. But yeah, this is the one I'm on about right here, the container production. So yeah, this will actually take it in products, and as you can see, it will output a heck of a lot of pallet containers over time. I will say that it's over time because, yeah, like I was saying, I had it on a test map, which was 1 month per day, and it took at least 2.5 to at least 3 months before I got that first pallet. And I only used flour as a test, and it took quite a while. So if we could maybe adjust the timing on that, it might help. But also, yeah, I'm looking at seeing if we can get the pallets back from 19 visuals and see if we can get it set up so some of those end of line pallets, shall we say, or products, so pizzas, breads, stuff like that could have their own custom pallet or container. It keeps saying pallet, but container that outputs from Bowers in like 50k container capacities. So yeah, definitely worth it. But one thing it did get me thinking is some maybe later on, this same system could be added into the productions directly, in the same way 19 kind of had it, where you added sacks into some of the factories to output containers. Something similar could be set up if we have the right tools to be able to do it in the future. So there is that option. Maybe we could have an empty container production as well, for example. Add a container in, and you could output a full container of flour, for example, or full container of steel or concrete or whichever it might be. So it'd be kind of cool if that could be implemented within the factories themselves as well as Barrow Logistics. So yeah, make life that little bit easier for you guys. Obviously, these ones here in particular are 20,000 litre capacity. And obviously, when you sell the containers themselves, you do get a little 2% bonus for the product as well. I guess it's for the container, I don't know. But yeah, it's not bad. It's kind of a cool idea. Visually, I don't like the containers because it's only got a tiny little label on it. But the nice thing is, as we've got the ones from 19 already visually out there, and obviously I've already got at least 3 or 4 converted. I obviously got to get them tested first of all. Yeah, we'll see if we can get this working. And if so, then maybe in the future a update to Barrow Logistics that outputs containers in a similar way. Wouldn't that be nice? But yes, we shall see how that side gets going. But yeah, but yeah, if you guys, by the way, if you guys are not following Mr. Farmer Marks there, I did give him a shout out. How you doing there, Farming Trucker? And by the way, thank you very much for the 20 stream streak, Mr. Dead Soul. The 25 stream streak from Mr. Farming Trucker. And I'm pretty sure Mr. T. Miller is now up to 156, 57, something like that. Absolute legends, you really are. But yes, there we go. Actually, while I'm at it, I'm just going, because obviously the hired helpers do this bit, I'm going to get on the action. So just a reminder as well, Lurk Bait, the little fishing program there, it still has its little competition thing going, I suppose, best way to put it. Obviously, the top 3 people on the leaderboard at the end of this month will be put into a little spinny wheel and spun round and round and round and round and round and round and round, and whoever gets it wins. Yes, so let's see if we can actually get a month where Farming Trucker doesn't get a prize. Obviously, 25 UK pound, GBP, Great British Pound. Steam gift card will be given away. Obviously, depending on where you are. I know Farmer Marks mentioned that he was getting around about, what's it, 45 Canadian dollars or something with the conversion, which is kind of cool. Excuse me, dude. Stop, because I want to take over for a minute. I'll get the little bits that you missed. But yes, you may end up with a fair bit, that's all I can say. But yeah, as always, this week is FS22 week. So make sure, if you've got any questions about this map in particular, make sure to get it in so we can get them answered for you. And how is Mr. Farming Trucker doing, by the way? And we'll give you a shout out as well. There we go. And if you don't follow Mr. Farming Trucker, make sure to click on that link, give him a follow. He does Fishing Planet, 7 Days to Die, Farming, is it Euro Truck Simulator, or American Truck Simulator, one of the two. So yeah, quite a combination of different games for sure over there. Tends to stream over weekends, so yeah, make sure to catch him when he does go live. But yes. Yeah, one nice thing is my base is still standing in 7 days. I'm happy. Hey there, Big Tigger. How you doing, buddy? Right, there we go. That's that bottom bit. So there's got that little bit up here to get, and probably the odd patch at the top. And then what I can do is make a start on the other field. So, like I said, I alternate these two fields. So 1 year it'll be cranberries on 2. So, for example, the 2 over there were cranberries last year. These 2 were rice. So this year, rice is going on that field and cranberries on this field. The nice thing is by doing that, you kind of get a good balance on the yields for both. There we go, get that lower down. So that's kind of how I do it. And then obviously if I do need additional, say cranberries 1 year, I can throw it up onto one of the other ponds and just top it up that way. But usually I'll try and alternate them either way. Alright, so there's that bit done. Let's check the top. I know I did see a spot on the other side over there that needs to be addressed, so I'll just work my way around, just get these bits that's missed. But still, it always seems to be when turning around, which is strange. But how is Mr. Big Tigger doing? Hopefully he's doing well, sir. And there we go. Oh, I'm disappointed in Mr. Big Daddy. He went off to see somebody else, but fair enough. He's supporting other people doing Fishing Planet. Ah, bless him. Anyway, it's good to see actually Big Daddy back streaming. He's had a lot of time away, obviously personal reasons, but yeah, it's nice that he's getting in those regular streams again, which is good. There we go. Let me close him down, and there we go. Okie dokie dokie. So yeah, so I got a few other streams up. I've now only got Coffeeman 101, who's actually playing some PV County at the minute. He's just got Aurora Textiles built, which is kind of nice. But yes, yeah, he wanted to keep it the fishing related because of the Twitch drops that people are still going after. Yeah, yeah. To be honest, I'm not really worried. It's nice. Yes, keep going. Actually, I will say one thing. I did load up Fishing Planet the other day, only because I've had so many Twitch drops from Big Daddy and some of the other people I watch. It was getting a bit ridiculous, so I thought I'd better redeem them before it was too. I lost them. So yeah, I actually loaded up Fishing Planet. Didn't really play any, but I did redeem the rewards from over there. Yeah, I just don't feel the drive to get in there and play the game. That's a problem. Don't get me wrong, I love fishing, I really do. But, nah, too much hassle. I actually prefer the river, sea fishing. I really do. I think it's a better catch, in all honesty. Yeah, missing out on some big fish. Yeah. Actually, to be honest, I've been seeing some of the ones that Big Daddy's been pulling out, and yeah, that's fine. I don't mind it. I honestly don't mind it. Oh, actually, yeah, between Big Daddy, Dave, Farming Trucker, yeah, you guys can keep those big fish. I don't want to be there, like 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour for some people, just to pull one fish in. You're fine. I'd rather get out there and do it myself. But yes. But yeah, if you like fishing, yeah, that is definitely. I will say, out of all the fishing games I've seen, that is probably one of the better ones. In all honesty, Fishing Planet they've done a really good bang up job of it. That's what I will say. Yes. Anywho, but right now we're farming. We do have fishing on this map as well, which is kind of nice. Which I did cover the other day, and obviously I do have a little video out for that as well. Yeah, go for it. Nice. Actually, at some point, see, the thing is, I'm kind of getting a bit lapsed now on selling stuff because I've got like 308 million in the bank. It's like, do I really want to go in and sell stuff? I should really, otherwise I'm gonna take forever to get stuff sorted out. So, as it's April, what I do is I'll do what I tend to do with these anyway. It's a headland, and what I might just do is have a look to see what is sellable on this month, and yeah, we'll go from there. But oh, just so you guys are aware, I'm literally about 2 or 3 subscribes away on YouTube, so it's getting very close to that. And I still have, I think it's around 250 watch hours to go, which I'd love to achieve by the end of this year. The sooner the better would be quite nice. Oops, I missed that a little bit. But yeah, if anybody's able to watch my videos or just have them up and running possibly in the background, it'd be quite nice just to get the hours in. But yes, and in addition to that, hopefully by the end of this year I'll be able to get my little YouTube partner up and running side of things. Wait, the emote was a dud? The emote was a dud, was it? What emote did you put in? Maybe it didn't like your one. Drop. Well, my one seems to be working. I don't know if it's going to land, but we'll see. I got a feeling it's going to miss it completely. Nope. Oh, dang it. Oh, well, you've added 4 hours to that over the last 2 days. Oh, well, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Green Thumb. But yes, I will agree, yes, with what you were talking about earlier. Yeah, I do prefer the 22 and 25 version of doing those things. Yeah, they are. It's a lot easier. It really, really is. But yeah, if you're good at reversing, I will say, using that trailer up those up those tunnels to pick up the rocks is a trick and a half. That's for sure. It really is. But obviously, that's one thing as well. For those doing PB County, so obviously when you're getting into doing the tunnels, obviously you blow up obviously the tunnel walls, which gives you the stone boulders themselves. Plus, is it gravel or something on in the piles? Obviously, with using the Joskin Schmidt's Cargo Bull trailer. Obviously that does have auto load, which I did show. But yeah, you don't have to necessarily go up there backwards. Obviously you can drive up there forwards if you want to. But in addition, in the pack there is auto load wheel loader buckets that you could technically attach to a wheel loader and go up and pick them up that way. So there is other options if you wanted to. You spent an hour to pick them up and had to pause the game, and when I came back the rocks went flying out of the trailer as the auto gets turned off. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing as well. Yes, don't save until you get unloaded. The trigger is so small on the back. Yeah. Yeah, there's also obviously a trigger on the top of the actual trailer itself. I think there's actually a large box going all the way around it. I'd have to have a look, but I'm pretty sure it's a decent sized box going all the way around the trailer itself. But yeah, what you can potentially do is just, if you're going to pick them up, you could put them into the top. It will load in, auto load in as well. but then obviously around the base of the trailer as well. So yeah, you could do it multiple different ways. Alright, let's see if I can get this guy to go there. Hopefully. Any bits he misses, I can always go back and get it. You saw the box at the top? Yeah. So yeah, you could chuck it in if you wanted to, the top, or just chuck it in the bottom, wherever. It's all good. Now then. Ooh. That's interesting. I see a little bit of the river. What the heck? Why is the river coming out onto my bog area? My field. Oh my goodness. You're fired. I thought these were all custom shapes. I don't know. Maybe not. But yeah, I can just look at that. That's terrible. That's terrible. It may be actually where possibly where I've done some landscaping here is brought that up. Hmm. Oh well. It's fine there. Excuse me. Right then, so while this guy's gone up and down, let's have a look at the prices at the for this month, the products. And what we could always do is get in to do some selling as well, why not? Righty then, I want this one right here. So I do have the good old time saving stock check mod in here still. And let's see, so we can select it into their months. And hopefully somewhere in here, is there anything highlighted? Nope. What month are we in anyway? April. I got a feeling there's nothing in April, in all honesty. March. Yeah, nothing this month. But however, May. So this is one thing you could technically do is look into getting things ready for the month coming up as well. So, for example, for me, okay, I've got nothing in April, so I could technically start getting things like clothing into a container ready to rock and roll. Obviously, that is not that much of clothing wise, so there is that. So I could technically just spawn those pallets out and take them manually. I'm not even worrying about the grapes because obviously they will be getting used. Uh, Fabric, I'm not even worried. I could sell some of the fabric if I wanted to, but I could always get that turned into clothing and other things. Wool, nope. Cashmere, nope. Down, nope. So yeah, obviously next month is very limited. So the only real thing out of all that I would look into doing is the clothing. Ooh, look at that. So according to this, I've got 6 emeralds spawned out. They will be on obviously plot 231 if you guys weren't aware. So nice. Or either, actually, I should say, those particular ones are getting ready to be spawned. Same with the diamonds right there. And that. Ah. Yes. Why has it got ruby harvested? That why is it showing? That's the problem. They shouldn't be showing yet. Mm. Something's a little bit funky in 22. Oh well. But saying that, I could always look into the follow month. So we've got March, April, May, then June. And obviously that's where it's well, what the heck? Mr. Coffee Man 101, raiding with the party of 4. How you doing there, Coffee Man? How was the stream? I was actually lurking there. And hey, Mama Do. How's it going, my dear? Actually, yeah, I was actually lurking in your stream, checking you out, Coffee Man. I did see that you got the Aurora Textiles building built today. Kind of cool. I totally missed how, or forgot how that thing built. It was kind of nice. I like it. Um, so there's one for Coffee Man. We'll give one for Mamadou. But yeah, if you guys are not following any of those guys, make sure to click on their links, give them a follow. Obviously, Coffee Man is currently playing PV County in FS 19. And seems to be enjoying it actually, doing very well for himself over there. And obviously, Mamadou is actually playing PV Rivers Remastered in FS 25 currently, but also jumps in to do some 7 Days to Die the other day. Interesting to watch. But yeah, definitely go over and check them out if you haven't already. And obviously, Mamadou, she has a beautiful, beautiful singing voice. But yeah, Got much better today. Yeah, I'm not doing too bad, thanks. A little bit sore in places actually from yesterday. I did a lot of building. Also, we've got a lot of flat packs delivered over the last couple of days, and yeah, yesterday I kind of spent most of the day building the stuff. Kind of doing up the our bedroom at the minute. Obviously, got some shelving, some chest of drawers, stuff like that. Yeah, and I'm absolutely knackered. I really am. But anywho, let's have a look. Let's have a look. So yeah, even June, to be honest, is not looking the greatest for the products. Now, one of the big things is, this is one thing I haven't really mentioned about is obviously gold bars. There was a question on our Facebook group, is what do you move the gold bars with? Good freaking question, isn't it? So, anything that basically auto loads. Anything that literally auto loads should pick up these gold bars. But before going too far, let me come back out of here. He's going to probably stop in a minute, but if we come into under the objects and pallets, if we actually scroll across, you should find this right here, a gold bar pallet. You can actually store 30,000 litres worth of gold in each of these pallets. So literally all you need to do is buy maybe one or two of these, stick them over by wherever your gold is. Could be outside the blacksmith, could be outside Crystal Steel if you wanted to. And you literally just need to go over every now and again and manually load the gold into these. Unfortunately, they don't automatically pick up from the trigger, but that is one option. Another option, if you have the Hispano modern containers that have been edited to work on, oh okay, on this map, and if you need them, I did send them out, was it yesterday? No, Monday, wasn't it? I did give them out. It's these Titan ones. These things, for example, or the flat racks, whichever ones you have, or even these guys. What you can actually do is, let me get this guy up and running. I'll show you what you can do with those containers. Because obviously, if you got the ones that I gave out the other day, or the ones that you've already edited that are done the same way, obviously Coffeeman says his stream was good. Glad to hear it. But yes, it was kind of interesting actually seeing just quickly while I'm get this guy set up. Is I had totally forgotten how Aurora Textiles built. Watching Coffeeman doing it earlier was definitely an eye opener because it was very, very cool. Now the only problem is I don't think Coffeeman releases his streams yet, but if he is able to share them, it would be very, very cool for some of the people to see that building in particular being built. But anyway, right, so there we go. So there's that. So ba -ba -da -ba -da. I need. Where is it? The steel factory, isn't it? Sorry, I covered my mouth there, and Mike was there as well. So is that the steel factory? There it is. So if we come over to the steel factory, because obviously this is the one I'm currently using. Obviously around the back here, what I've got set up, and I know a lot of people have done this, Green Thumb Farmer, Team Miller, and other people, is what they've basically done is taken one of these flat racks or a container, and they've actually got it set next to the trigger. It could be on the ground itself, or it could be on a trailer like myself. Obviously, I tend to also basically use one of these little Kubotas just to pick the gold up off of the gold bars off of the ground. If they've been left there. Now, the nice thing is, if I'm within this range for this trailer, let me come out a bit. Those gold bars will automatically then go into these trailers. Now, obviously, these trailers have been edited a little bit, shall we say, capacity-wise, so they do hold quite a bit. But that is how I've basically been doing it. Every now and again, I'll come over here, I'll check the trigger, make sure that it's clear. Thankfully, at the minute, there's very little gold bars ready. I need to check my gold masters because I think they may have stopped working. They might have run out of sand, but I'll have to check that in a minute. But yeah, that is one option. So yeah, if you can use a Titan container that's been edited, that is one good way of doing it. Obviously, this particular one here, if I remember, it's about 250,000 litre capacity on that thing. So that's a lot of freaking gold when it comes to selling time, that's for sure. I actually started off with the little, was it the 25-foot one? And I was finding I was starting to getting that filled very, very quickly, where I ended up having to buy a second one, and I ended up just doing away with two and got the bigger one. So yeah. So yeah, for anybody who was curious about gold bar transport, obviously that's an option. Another option is just to grab an offload trailer or even a trailer of some kind, maybe one of these little UTV vehicles, and you can transport it that way. It really is that easy. Now, obviously, if you've got the gold jar, the gold jars themselves that are coming out of the gold masters. Obviously, one thing you could try and do is just set it to distribute, and it'll go to where it needs to go. Obviously, the only places that need gold jars are obviously this crystal steel and the blacksmith are the only two places possible. Oh, and the small smelters. They're the only ones that actually take it. None of the other productions will. So yeah, I've got all mine up here right now. So I've got the Green Thumb Farmers ones. Oh, hello. Why are you spotting out? You should be spotting out. Oh, but it is running, so maybe it's just being a little bit slow and laggy. But while I'm up here, I do want to just double check that they are on distributing. Distribute, and I'm selling the clean fill because I really don't need it. That's fine. But yeah, I've got one. I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gold masters. All sand ones up here. It's crazy the amount of gold that comes out of this area now. Definitely a good way of making money. That seems to be fine. Yes. That's still running. Okay. Okay, so I guess it's fine. And the nice thing is, with these, obviously where I've got them located near the desert, obviously I've got pallets of crude oil right there. Guess what this thing needs as a booster? Oh yeah. Oh yes. I definitely could do that, see? It's deactivated currently, but it's got... Why is it deactivated for? I don't know. Weird. But yes. Oh yes, the gold mats. Well, remember, for anybody who is using the Green Thumb Farmers Gold Masters, gold mats are made in the same place as the drill shafts and the pump jacks. So the Black Diamond factory also makes these gold mats. Actually, to be honest, I should look into seeing if I can get some more of that up and running. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Black Diamond be up the top. Sometimes it will say Black Diamond, or it will have Drill Factory. I can never remember. I'm probably going to say Drill Factory on here. Drill Factory right there. So, what are we missing for that, or is it not producing? Okay, so it's got the plastic going into it. Got plenty in there. It's just taking a little bit of a while. Obviously, I've only got the electricity currently plodding along there. So I could technically activate that now. We'll put it on priority 2 for each of them. There we go. And that should crank up those gold mats. And as you can see, I've got plenty of drill shafts and pumps in storage if ever I need to replace any of them. Because obviously those pump jacks will eventually disappear, from what I understand, and also will need to be replaced or topped up with new ones. But yes, there we go. We'll just leave that going. Now, one thing as well, remember, so with the electric labour support morale, if you are finding that you've got too much, things are shutting down or getting backlogged, what you can do is put down the government building. It's basically a storage for those products. So if I can scroll through here, government, building, right here. So it will actually store any extra electric support, morale, and labour in it. And obviously, it will store it, and obviously, you can set it to distribute from there. Now, the nice thing is with this as well, the government building, it will also produce support for your factories as well. So, kind of a double hitter, really. It gives you a little bit of a boost on that as well. But yeah, if you're unsure about how much power you've got, what you could always do is put one of these down. Now, one thing I will always say with the government building, make sure that you set the priorities to 10. You want to make sure that your factories and everything else is getting your all of these products first before the government building. Because obviously, if it comes to you, it's going to cost you extra for the distribution and the storage and stuff like that. So bear that one in mind. So yeah, I've got plenty of labour, so that will kick in a little while. I've got a little bit of morale, that should go over. Okay, it's just really the support I'm kind of lacking on at the minute. It's being used as soon as it's being made, it's terrible. So I may need to look into at some point is getting additional buildings put down for that. But that's something for another year, I think. Righty, I'm not really too worried about the central farm and all that. I do need to get into that last field of wheat at some point, but I really want to just focus on the bogs for the minute. But yeah, I did get the rest of that field done on Monday stream, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, like I was saying, if you've got a question about 22, please let me know so I can get it answered. And by the way, hello Mr. Farmer Marks over on YouTube. But yeah, it'd be kind of nice if we can get those containers working in 25 again. But yeah, one thing I was thinking is, obviously, if we were to add container farms into the productions themselves, what we could technically later on do when it gets added is, say, add in sacks or something that would allow you, or even even come up with a container production. Like you could take a container over to the production to output it as a container, and then obviously you'd have to have it set up as a pallet line and a container line. So I'm not quite sure how that's all going to work, but that would be kind of nice. But at least for the minute, over the next week or two, I am going to be focusing on getting it working with some of the more final products, should we say, on rivers. See if we can get containers coming out of Barrow Logistics for selling purposes. When you've got time, go and see if it's up. What's up there, Coffee Man? Did I miss a part of a conversation? It was good. Oh, okay. I can go have a look right now. Let's go over to Twitch. Let's find Mr. Coffee Man underscore 101. There he is. And yeah, it is showing your little video right there. Let me mute that because I don't want to come through. But yes. Let's see if I can find a time index for that? Because I know Green Thumb was actually very curious, I believe, about the Aurora Textiles factory buildable side of things and how it all comes together. So if here we go. Actually, I can probably show it here if that's okay with you. Yeah, okay. Because obviously there's something I don't really show much is obviously the buildable side of things. But yeah, if it's all right with you, what I can do is I'll bring this across. Obviously, this dude's going to be fine for the minute. But what I could do is I'll play this. Let me just take this back just a fraction. So it's just a little bit over an hour. So that's where it kind of starts. That's where you've kind of given off the last piece. But what I could do is show this off. I'll take a quick break just while it's playing. And yeah, you guys can actually see the Aurora Textiles building back in FS19 and how it all comes in. It's kind of cool. It really is kind of cool how it was set up. I don't think we ever had it buildable in 22 in the same way. But yes, here you go. Enjoy this, and I will be right back, guys. 'Cause I'm gonna go grab a drink while it's playing. Hang on, let me just clear that up because it's a little bit better quality if possible. Oh, that's even worse. Trying to get it a better quality. It might just because I'm streaming, so that's a problem as well. But yeah, there we go. We'll leave it at that for the minute, and hopefully you'll get a gist of how it all comes in. But yeah, I'll be right back, guys. That is very, very cool, though. I am back, by the way, guys. So, yeah, so that's pretty much how the whole buildable thing worked back in 19. It's kind of cool where obviously you had your uprights coming in first, then the wall pieces, then your cross beams, then going up to the next level. And it is cool. This is what literally got me back into playing Farming Simulator back in 19. It is very, very cool. And obviously, eventually, if we can zoom on a little bit through the night here, obviously the lights come in, the triggers come in, everything on the inside comes in, and eventually this whole fenced off area just disappears and you can have full access to the building. I think they still got like trash cans and stuff to go outside, but it is a very, very cool build feature. And for those who haven't seen that before, that is very interesting way of playing. In all honesty, I like it. I really like it. And obviously, all the buildings were literally like that. It was literally brought in piece by piece by piece by piece. But yeah, thank you very much, Coffee Man, for allowing me to share that. But yeah, if you want to see more of those buildings being built, I would definitely recommend tuning in to Coffee Man 101 often when he is streaming, because from what I've seen, nearly every stream so far he's been doing another buildable. The other day he was actually building one of the bridges, so he's actually showing that all off. It's kind of cool. And obviously, if I do another chat for you, there you go. Make sure to click on that link, give him a follow, and check out some of those other buildables that he'll be getting around to doing soon. No idea what is going to be next, but yeah, definitely worth it. That is very, very for sure. But yes. Right then, let's have a look. So, he's got most of the field done, so let me go around and just get these bits that he's missed. And then we can get over onto those other two fields and get some rice planted. But yes, you're doing very well, by the way, Coffee Man. Very well indeed. You must be putting some heck of an hours in there just to get those built. But the nice thing is you're going for Aurora Textiles. Obviously, once you got product into there, you can start producing things like the sacks, which can go into the steel factory or the concrete factory, and obviously be able to get the containers out of them. Actually, I'm not sure the steel factory had it back then. Thinking about it, but definitely the cement factory, PF's Concrete, definitely has sacks going in that can output container forms. But yeah, that's the sort of feature I would love to have back in some of the factories in 25 if it's possible. But obviously the big thing is the way it's going to obviously I could add it in now where you have the same lines in the productions but have a line just for doing outputting containers. So you could technically deactivate the pallet lines, just go with the container side if you wanted to. There's that as an option. Or just leave it all going into, say, Barrow Logistics and being converted that way. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be focusing on looking in things like the pizzas, the breads, juices, stuff like that, to get them into containers, at least to start off with. And it would make your lives a little bit easier for selling. Now, one of the things I do want to test is, I know if you automatically sell from Barrow Logistics, you do not get the environmental payout, the score payout. But do you get a better payout with the pallets, or do you get a better payout with those containers using precision farming? That's something I'm going to have to test into, because I may want to look into maybe upping the price a little bit for selling those containers. Just make it a little bit more worthwhile doing, should we say. Well, yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing. It's basically an option I didn't even think of, really, in all honesty. The way that they've set theirs up, having it as a secondary line, as it were. But the worst thing is you can't use any of those containers in the productions. That's what gets me. Obviously, one thing you'd have to then do is, if you're a modder, you'd have to go through add in the container line and do it that way. It's like, oh, what a pain. It really is a pain, but it's an option to look into. But yeah, obviously if we can get, say, like the production revamp mod back, where we could add in the different recipes, we could technically have it as a pallet form or a container form, either or, to make a particular line, which is one interesting thing. So yeah, there is definitely opened up a few lines to try and look into, that's for sure, with that mod coming out yesterday. But anywho, obviously right now we are obviously into 22, obviously there's not going to be any more updates. So for this version, so yeah, just focus on the 25 ones for now. There we go. YouTube, yes. Yeah, have you got any actually, out of interest there, Mr. Coffeeman, have you got any ideas on what next factory you'll be attempting to do? Or are you going to focus on a few more bridges or what? Right. Yeah, see what I can do is, once I got this over onto doing the rice fields, I can also grab another tractor with a roller to get this lot done. So let's turn that off, we'll get that closed. We'll actually get this filled up before we go across. Now one thing I do need to do as well, because obviously this planter doesn't do fertilizer as well, so we're going to have to go through as well and fertilize these fields. So we might do the fertilizing first, and then, oh, if I can get the right spot, right there, and then get the roller out. Shouldn't take too long, to be honest, to do the fertilizing side of things. Now, obviously, these fields have not been ploughed at all this year, so there's probably going to need to be weeded later on, so I need to keep an eye on that if I'm here that long. I don't know. We shall see. But yeah, obviously my plans are this week anyway, being on here. There's not most of the actual questions have now been answered. In all honesty, that I've seen over the last few months on Facebook, which is quite nice. So that's good. Oh, there we are. Pop that there, and we'll get this over onto the next field to be riced. Rice. There. Yeah, yeah. That's what I'll do. I'll do the fertilizing first. Then what I'll do is I'll get a hired helper out to do the rolling on these fields. Oh, actually, right there. I forgot where the bridge is. There's many bridges around here, so just keep an eye out for them. There we go. This field's a little bit more tricky with the AI, but it does a fairly good job. The only issue is those trees. It does get it likes to get hung up on some of these trees. So I'll probably be back here in a couple of minutes. That's all I can say. I should have started on the other one. It'd probably be better on the other one in all honesty. But let's see how he does today. See now I'm kind of thinking it'd be kind of nice to have the AI helpers from 25 on here, because obviously they can then go around the outside and do a fairly decent job. Yeah, we'll see how he gets on. Right, so excuse me. Save. You don't know yet? Okay. I could do it faster myself. I know I could, but I could also be doing other jobs as well. Right then, so we do have this one right here, which has herbicide. That one has liquid fertilizer. Okay. That one's got lime. I don't think I've got anything else. Okay. Yes, my little John Deere farm. He'll be fine. There's no great rush, to be honest. Right, detach. There we go. So I need to get that other one out of the way first of all, because obviously that's the herbicide one at the front, and it looks like he's already finished because of obviously the silly trees being in the way. Oh, dang it. Oh, that helps if I hit the right button. I was thinking, why is this button on my steering wheel not attaching and detaching? It's because I was hitting the wrong big button. Duh. There we go. We'll pop that there. Actually, to be honest, I obviously like I was for anybody who's watched my previous streams on here, when before we went over to 25, obviously I was running cosplay at that for the final year, and obviously these funny bog fields, where they're shaped a bit different, shall we say, to the norm, um, did a pretty good job in all honesty with cosplay, so it was a lot easier. uh, but yes. But yeah, the reason I actually removed it is because obviously it does use a lot of resources on my computer. I was actually watching it yesterday. I had a few things running, and actually I had Courseplay added back in, and I was just doing a couple of little jobs, and the amount of usage it was using on my computer was ridiculous. Just with the base game, what I've currently got right now, without Courseplay, I'm hitting around about. Oh, actually, I can probably bring it up. Let's see, Taskmaster. So my CPU is currently being used at 25 to 30%. My graphics card is around about the same. I'm just waiting for it to do a decent cycle to get an idea on how much it's using. But it was around about 30 gigabytes, or is it megabytes? Yeah, no, megabytes, I should say. 30 megabytes of my RAM was being used just to run this game without Courseplay. Obviously, when I had Courseplay, that really jacked it right up. It was crazy. Let's see what it says now. So GPU memory currently where I am on the map. Oops, missed that bit. It's using 7.5 gigabytes currently to run the game. But I'm also also got to remember I've got other things running as well, browsers and obviously OBS and all that. But yeah, that's kind. Oh, come on, get over a little bit, will you? But yeah, it's kind of bonkers that the numbers that it was plonking out earlier. Even the temperature, actually, just look at the temperature on my computer as well. It was running Courseplay at about 85% temperature, Celsius, you say, um, which is hot. Right now, it's right down to like 65, 67, which is round about average for what I usually have for 22, which is quite nice actually. It's good, but it is hanging around this sort of 27% usage on my GPU. So yeah, Courseplay, yeah, okay, especially once you get a couple of helpers going, is a little bit resource hungry still, in my opinion. Let's see my memory. Here you go, my memory. So I've got 80 gigabytes of memory on my computer. Thanks to obviously Mr. Reaper, bless his cotton socks for doing that. It's currently actually using, yeah, 30%. It's just hit 30%. It started bouncing between 28 and 30% of my... No, 37. There we go. It's just jumped right up. Holy heck. 37% of my memory just to run this blinking game. It's not good. I need a new computer. I've decided. I want to get in... Or, I don't need a new computer. I need to upgrade my graphics card and CPU, I think, at some point. But yeah, that's another thing. That's one thing I will say, and I'm going to say this again. If you are playing this map in 22, if you don't have more than, was it 32 gigabytes of RAM, you're going to struggle. That's all I can say, especially when loading up the game. You may want to look into lowering texture resolution in your advanced graphic settings, or changing it to DirectX 11 instead of DirectX 12. Just makes the game run that a little bit better, in my opinion. And the nice thing is, you don't end up with snotty grass. So, okay, a little disclaimer here. So for well, when the premium DLC came out for 22, it added in the carrots, the red beets, and the parsnips. It was the last DLC that was added. One of the big things is, at that point, everyone had started having the issues with loading the save game. That's where we came up with the different options to be able to load the map up. One of the things, obviously, I can still run this map on DirectX 12, but I find the texture, especially on the grass anyway, looks hideous. It really does look hideous to me personally. I actually showed it off in one of my streams, and yeah, you can see that the actual grass itself looks like it's been sneezed on, heavily sneezed on, where it's all sort of become one big clump of green snot almost. So I actually, even though I can run it with DirectX 12, I always run this map, this save game, with DirectX 11. So yeah, it seems like every time an update comes or anything, people keep asking, "Oh, is your grass okay? Does it look like snot?" So yeah, if you ever actually see somebody mention about the snotty grass,
so
you know what that means.
Do it! Make your dreams come true!
I'm trying, Coffee Man. I am trying. Yeah, hopefully, maybe this year. Well, I think actually 25 seems to be fine at the minute on my computer. But I'm thinking if Giants keeps doing more and more of these pain in the behind updates that make people having to break their computers, then yeah, I may have to look into getting a few upgrades, shall we say, and that's going to cost money. And Coffee Man, not Coffee Man, Green Thumb, thank you very much for the fart there. But yeah, I might as well just do this field myself. It's only a small one. I'll be done in a little while. But yes, kind of a crazy situation to be in. And the worst thing is, I'm not the only one in the same issues, because obviously we all know Mr. Dave's computer is a little bit more powerful than mine, system spec wise, places. And even he struggles to get just the editor to run on a 16x map now. So, yeah. And thank you very much for the hydrate, the posture check, the stretch. Mr. Farmer Marks, I will get that in just a sec. Thank you very much for the crash. And the pipe falling, Mr. Green Thumb and Coffee Man. Love it, love it, love it. But yes. Let's see if I can get this done. Right, I can do the hydrate while I'm sat down, so that's fine. Thank you. I wonder if I can drive and stretch at the same time. This is going to be interesting. Yikes. I'll get my booty. Oh, missed a bit. I'm going to have to go back for that in a minute. There we go. Oh, this is an interesting view. 6'2", stood up, trying to play a game with a wheel. It's definitely interesting. kind of reminds me of driving a what you call them, a high loader, a picker, or whatever you want to call it. Yes, it's a bit like that. Yes. Yeah, so I did a lot of factory work, and obviously one of the jobs we had to do is picking using sort of high lift platform unit things. Mr. Wheels, how you doing, buddy? Thank you very much for the T-Rex roar. But yeah, it was kind of obviously they had a little steering wheel on them, and you had to sort of stand up while you're driving and such. It was kind of like that feel, looking down at the game and the steering wheel. But yeah, sorry, memories. But yeah, if you guys not follow Mr. Wheels 24/7, make sure to click on his link, give him a follow. He is actually back on PV Rivers Remastered currently, carrying on from an earlier save game that he had started. So definitely go over, check him out if you haven't already. He's a member of the SGA as well, and a great content creator. But yeah, how are you doing there, Mr. Wheels? Obviously, we currently are back in 22 on PV County. Not PV County, PV, what are we on? PV Candy Crossing. Forgot what it was called there for a second. But yeah. Not too bad so far. Good. Yes. Cool. Yeah, that container mod that came out yesterday, container production, going to be looking into seeing if we can get some containers coming out of Barrow Logistics over the next couple of weeks for, in particular, the final products, so pizzas, bread, stuff like that, to make life selling a little bit easier. And from the looks of it, with that mod, it actually adds in, I think it was a 2% bonus for selling with the containers. So I might have to look into doing a few tests when it comes to the selling side of things. As I was saying earlier, is obviously when you sell pallets with precision farming, you do get that little bonus, don't you? Now, do you get that same amount of bonus with the pallets and the containers? Not sure yet. We'll have to do some testing on that. If you're not getting as high of a payout with the containers, what I can always do is tweak the money a little bit, shall we say, the price for selling for the containers. Yeah, looking at about obviously Green Thumb and I were chatting in Discord yesterday, and we're kind of thinking around about the 50,000 litre capacity for the containers. Possibly 100. I'm not sure about that one though, but yeah, definitely that 50 is more tempting for me, in all honesty, as well. But yes, breads, pizzas, all those sort of things. But yeah, I'll have to make a whole list of the final products, in all honesty, so I can figure out, okay, which ones do we want to go with first. So thinking of, obviously those ones I'm thinking off the top of my head. I can also think of things like the juice. They could go into a container because obviously that is a final product. What else is there? Breads. Obviously T. Miller stuff that's coming out of a lot of his factories could be put into a container form. Obviously that would need an actual, completely new decal container, in all honesty, with that one. That'd be an interesting one. But yes, we'll see how it goes. I've got a little placeable already kind of set up for all of it. I've got to get it in game, obviously test it. That's going to be the fun thing, getting it tested and see how the whole thing works. Any errors, got them fixed, got to get any warnings sorted out. But yeah, I've basically, what was it? The product storage is the one I actually chose. I actually had it already converted to 25, but I hadn't had the pallets or the container side of things sorted out on it. Last night I pretty much went in and got it done. I've got to make sure that obviously it unloads first of all in the cell trigger. That would be fine. Things like that. But yeah, the aim is if that does work, I can then go in and start working on like the final products. So there'll be basically a Ken's container, a PF's concrete container, a steel factory eventually coming back container, one for the orchards and greenhouse products and stuff like that. So yay! We'll see. We'll see what I can come up with, and I can show you guys next week when I'm back on PV Rivers. There was another mod today that stops distribution on production lines. There. Oh, really? Well, that's kind of cool. I'm still hoping for the revamp mod by the end of this year. That would be kind of cool. I really, really hope that it comes out soon. I haven't seen anything recently posted in Braven's Discord about it, but I do know that he did say that he always is working on it and hoping to get it out by the end of this year. Obviously, that production, the stock, was it the production stock control mod, is kind of like a prelude to the revamp mod coming back for 25. So yes, and I'm hoping it's going to have a lot of the same features as it did back in 22 as well, because that will, and obviously work in with the new constructibles and such. That'll be very, very cool. Right then, bridge is over there. Yeah, so I can get the hired helper on this. This is going to be not a problem. Actually, I might do one quick headland first. Du- 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 du. Where the heck is that bridge? It's there. Yeah, I'll do a quick headland just so he's got somewhere to turn around at least, so he's not hidden into the trees. And then I'll jump in and then go do some fertilizing on those first couple of fields. And then I can get a hired helper out onto those to roll those fields. There we go. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm getting hiccups now. It's weird. That is very, very weird. But yes, here we go, here we go, here we go, go, go. It's going to be a fun day, fun day, fun day. But yeah, out of interest, well, here, let's have a little look. And what else is going on in 25, if anything? Let's have a look at the mods. Should we have a look at the mod hub today, shall we? Let's go over to the desktop, there we go. So, we currently have, ooh, a Dutsfar, nice. One of my favourite tractors back in 19, and I still love the Dutsfars. And let's see, so we do have a new bay, is that forager or something? Yeah, the little forage harvester, obviously that has been in previous years. I remember that back in FS19 or something similar to that in 19. Interesting. And I don't actually think it was by the same modders, that's for sure. Anywho. John Deere's fence. The Rubicon. Interesting. I thought that was in. Is that not in the game? It should be in the game. It's been in the game for forever, from what I remember. Let's see. Oh, the Case IH. Early Riser Planters. Back. Mr. X-Man will be happy with that. It's from 19 the same one. Oh, okay. How you doing there, Joker or Tickle? Hmm. Okay. Yep, okay, some more K stuff. Okay, not bad, but yeah, I'm betting X-Man will be definitely probably adding them into his mod pack. Um, I actually thought that had already been released by Giants in all honesty, that tanker, but I could be wrong. This is one weird trailer. How do you get vehicles onto that? That is weird. Or is that just for like doing pallets or something? That is one strange trailer. Yeah, see, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, how the heck does that work? You cannot get a vehicle on that little platform there. Okay, if it's for pallets only, then that's fine. It's for bales and pallets. Okay, fair enough. Obviously, yeah, if I read up here for hay pallets, from hay to pallets, this trailer will haul all of the commodities of the farm. Really? I'm sorry, but I'd rather just have one flatbed. One long flatbed, and I could get a whole lot more pallets on there than, yeah, what's on there. Okay, but if you're interested in that thing, go for it. Anywho. Da, 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 da. Balers, weeders, mulchers, some planters there. Okay, really? Really? Why? Why? Greenhouses for root crops? Really? You lazy Scandinavian Viking buggers? I'm sorry. This bugs the crap out of me. You get tons and tons of product off of the fields. Why in the heck would you want to get a production to do it? I really don't understand these things. I know there is another um, mod similar to this where it's got literally what every crop in the game within the greenhouse. It's like why? Oh, it takes time to grow on the fields. Yeah, the open air gardens is the one I was thinking of. Um, yeah, okay, it takes a little bit of time, but in my opinion, it's a lot more beneficial doing it on the fields than it is in the freaking greenhouse. One, obviously, the game has a limit of productions that you can have placed down. Obviously, there is mods out there that allow you to break those limits. But for those who are, say, on console, do you really think they're going to pick a greenhouse over a field? I know if I was on console, I would want to pick the field version. One, it gives me a huge yield if you farmed it correctly. Enough, it will basically give you enough yield of a crop, especially on the root crops, to at least supply your factories for a good couple of in-game years. So it's like a no-brainer in my opinion. So yeah, oh that looks kind of familiar. That's almost similar to my little chicken pens from 22. The little hut, the little thingy huts. Oh well. But anyway, enough of that rant. Yes, I still prefer to do my crops on the field where you can fertilize them properly, get them limed and maximize that way. And the nice thing is I do have modded harvesters for a lot of that stuff anyway. Actually, I do still like that pull behind root crop harvester. Um, that was added to 25. I've gone and edited it a little bit. It's got a bigger capacity, but it's a nice work with. What's it, 6 meter work with on that thing? So yeah, get rid of those triple wide harvesters. Use that thing in my opinion. But what was I looking for? Because Green Thumb mentioned about a mod that stops production things. Improve production distribution. Ooh, I'm guessing it's probably that. But I just seen a couple of things actually there. That, I want to look at that, and I'm gonna with that one there. Ooh, some nice new different trees. Some nice new decorational trees. Okay. Oh, that pink tree right there. I don't know if you guys remember, but back in, was it FS17 or FS19? You had that African map that came out. I can never remember the name of it, and it had those pink trees on it, and it had the red dirt. Yes, it's evil. It really is. Every time I see this pink tree now, I think that of that one particular map. Um, it added in the sugar cane, I believe, and it had a really funny name. I can't think of what it's called now. But that's interesting. Oh, you get a little bamboo from the looks of it as well. Okay, might have to add that in and have a little look. Maybe, maybe not. Don't know. We'll have to see. But interesting little trees there. Place deco trees indefinitely. With this mod, you can place trees on any map, regardless of whether it has too many trees. Okay, so that's basically going to be a script that allows you just to carry on placing more placeable trees. Okay, not really interested then. Automatic watering for animals and greenhouses. Now, one thing I will say with these particular types of mods, be very careful because one, if they're set up a particular way, they can slow your system down, but it can also cost a fortune to run. So that in 19, if this is similar to what was in 19 with the is it extended animal mod, that was kind of cool where it allowed you to water your pen, put water in your pens an easier way. Uh, that will cause a conflict as well. Yeah, and obviously, yeah, with any PV map, we have the limit breaker mod, so yeah, I wouldn't use it. That other mod, but yeah, that's an interesting one. Million, yeah, million liter capacity of water. Okay, let's see, cost per month. It's only ooh, that's not bad actually. It's only $2 per month cost. Does 528 cycles per month, so that might not be bad actually. It looks better than some of the ones I've seen of late, so. And seemingly it works with your animal pens as well. I have no idea how it will do that because that's not technically a production. What was this other one? Improved production distribution. Improved distribution. Stop distribution to inactive productions. Now that is a frigging good idea. Because I don't know about anybody else, but there's certain lines at times I'll tend to shut off and it'll still keep distributing the product into it. Yeah. Heck, I might be getting that for definite. Hmm. And obviously, if you've got, say, a silo with grains in it, you want it to go to one factory instead of the other, yeah, you could shut down your other factory and not even worry about it going over. So that is kind of cool. That is very, very cool. Hey, Gamer Paul, how you doing, buddy? And then just some updates, some prefabs. Okay, so nothing else spectacularly looking jumping out at me anyway. Oh, BDBSSB, bless him, has his little production back out for doing lime, fertilizer, salt, and all that stuff. Yeah, there's that adjustable mirrors mod again. Love it, absolutely loving it. Be nice if it was added to previous years, but yes. See if I could see how that is done. Might be able to stop the distribution to my buildable glue factories until it's built. Yeah? Oh, that's an idea, yeah. That is definitely an idea, Green Thumb. Because if that works, then yeah, we could, or you could look into doing some of the other buildables. Or constructible, should say. Come on, why is my cruise not going? There we go. Oh, so we've got the buildings there already. Yeah, the adjustable mirror mod is very, very cool. That is something that I've been wanting since 25 came out, really. Obviously, I've added in the the I was going to say AI one. No, it's not. It's the AR interactive controls, should say. IC mod. Obviously, it allows me to open up doors, windows, and stuff on certain vehicles. But yeah, what obviously where I've been doing a lot of in-cab view. Certain mirrors on certain Oxbow equipment, shall we say, it's kind of hard to see behind. It really, really is. But being and obviously having the option to adjust the mirrors so it's a better view is definitely going to help. That's for sure. Yeah, I just find those oxbow harvester mirrors are practically impossible to see when you're reversing into a shed when you're in cab view. Being able to do it, oh yes. Righty. Definitely loving it, loving it. Right then, so let's do this quick headlands. Then I'll set a hired helper going probably up from this end across the field. While he's doing that, I'll jump in to my other tractor, get the fields fertilized, and then once I've got that first one done, I'll bring one of the tractors down with a roller and get the fields done. So, multiple uses. Cool. There we go, there we go, there we go, go. At some point I do want to have a look at Truffletopia. When I was driving down here, I might actually do that before I get into the other field because I might get a bit distracted otherwise. But I was noticing I'm getting quite a lot of pallet spawning over there. So I may actually go over, grab a trailer. Actually, I might grab one of those Hispano wooden containers to see if the truffles will go into that because I haven't actually tested it. And yeah, we'll see if we can get some of that stuff moved. I have truffles, by the way. Yes. Yeah, just on the top of the hill here, by the way, if you weren't aware, that is Truffletopia. And it's a very, very easy one. So, for those that are playing this map, obviously one thing you're going to need the correct aged pigs. And was it 36-month-old pigs, or what, they're 3 years? 3-year-old pigs. So it's going to take a long time to get them up and running, first of all. So maybe on one of your farms, set up some pig pens just to grow the little piggies. They also need to be 100% health before they go into Truffletopia. Now, once you've got your 3-month-old 100% health piggies, you can then transport them over to Truffletopia. Once they're in there, you don't need to worry about feeding them, which is kind of cool. They will stay constantly fed, so you don't have to worry about that at all. But what they will do is they'll snuffle around the forest there and find truffles, which will then eventually get palletized and spawned out of there. It's very, very cool. I like it. Obviously, it was a feature back in PV Rivers for FS15, and it was nice that it was nice it was implemented again in 22 on this map. Obviously, we haven't been able to do it in 25 yet. But yes, we shall see what the future holds. Who knows, that could be an option again later on in maybe a new map. We shall have to wait and see. Technically, you could do it. Obviously, you wouldn't get the truffles coming out of it. Unless it was a modded pen. Well, kind of thinking now. Wonder if that's possible. Can you take a pig pen and have it output pallets of truffles? Would that be a specialization that'd be needed for that? I don't know. Maybe. And somebody sending me a message through Facebook. How rude, I'm live right now. Do you mind? Doopy doopy doo, doopy doopy doo. Probably not. I'm not even going to attempt it. Not yet, anyway. Come on, hit it, good. Phew, I thought I was going to drift over too far on that corner. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go, go. There we are. Right then, so I'm kind of curious now obviously we've got Mr. Green Thumb Farmer back playing PV County. How long's he going to be over there for? Is it only going to be a couple of weeks and then he comes back over to PV Rivers? Or is he there for the semi-long haul? And also, when is Mr. T. Miller going to be streaming? I know he's in rehab at the minute, so yes. Will he, if he gets a chance, do any streams on Uncharted over the next coming months? That'll be an interesting one for you guys to see. Right, let's see how this dude's going to do. There's probably going to be a little bit I'll have to come back and get, but he should be fairly good for the moment. Ready. Wait for that to catch up. But yeah, Truffletopia is this little area, forestry area right here. Obviously, you'll need to own the land first and foremost. Like I said, your pigs would need to be. I'm pretty sure it is 3 years old, so 36 months. Does it have it on here? Goats, pigs. There we go. It does say. Pigs will produce truffles in the truffle forest starting at 36 months. Yes. God, I'm good. Truffles produced reach the maximum at 130 months. Okay, so wow, that's a heck of a age range. So from 3 months old up to what's that? 11 months? 12 months old? Roughly. They will keep producing. Obviously, once they get to that 130 months, they should stop producing truffles up here. Now, like I was saying, over here at the pig forest, you do have this little building where you can unload your pigs into. Remember, they have to be 100% healthy and fully fed. But what will happen is, as time goes on, right by the sign here, your pallets will start spawning out. No, this is truffles. Look at so many truffles. But one thing I was mentioned on Monday's stream about the seasonal spawn triggers. I did mention that there was one over here, and I can actually show you. So there is the sign right there, and look at this. I got little Chucky buddies over here too. So there is another spawn area. Obviously, one thing I did do as well with this is I spent a little bit of time and added a little fence in just to make it look like they're meant to be housed here. But the kind of cool thing is, look, I got little piggies roaming around in here. Honk, honk, honk. Hello, mate. Hello, hello. So we've got one there, there's another one there. There's actually quite a few in here now. It's kind of nice. Are you going to have to sit down? Are you feeling a bit tired? Is it getting a bit warm? Are you getting a bit warm? The only thing missing actually in here, I was thinking, is like water bowls or something. Troughs, should say. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, I just realised these will not go into a container because they're a fillable pallet, so that's going to be a bit of a pig. Excuse the pun. Don't. But the nice thing is, somewhere over here is a Barrow Logistics. And I want my little curtain sides, which is right there. But yeah, also one of the things is, just a reminder on my Trello, there is a little mod pack with placeable storages, but it also has a little additional trigger that allows you to, oh that's good timing, to distribute to Barrow Logistics. From there you can obviously load them into a container or whatever and sell them. But yeah, this is kind of a cool little thing. You just overlap the triggers and obviously it'll spawn out here. And yeah, go straight into Barrows there as a storage. Unlike the 25 version, which is distributable to and from. Here we go. This guy's going to do. Look at that. Beautiful. Love them. Yes, I must have got a bit bored in 22 as well. Because I did pretty much the same thing as what I've got right here. But yeah, we're going for a little drive. Let's go get those truffles. And what we'll do is we'll shove them into barrel logistics for the minute. And when the time comes, I can always sell them. They're only a final product, so it makes life a little bit easier to figure things out. Actually, I wonder. Yes, this might be a little bit easier actually in here. Yes, there we go. But no, I want to show the map off a little bit. It's kind of nice. I like it. So we got the brewery in there, which is quite nice, fully built. Obviously, I've done a lot of additional landscaping in here. Added lots of trees in here, so it does look quite a bit different to what most of you probably have. It's worth it. Trust me, it is worth it. Ah, so many memories. That's the thing. It's crazy. It really is. So many memories. Actually, one thing I was going to look into was what was actually hours on this thing then? Here. Okay, so yeah, so my FS22. Oh, I thought it was around about 900 hours I had on here. Holy cripes! Just over 2,000 hours on this one save game, and I've still got a load of collectibles still to find. Most of these, if not all of them, are actually in the mining area to find. Oh, that's another thing, the collectibles. Yes, within the forest areas, you may come across a bear, or in the swampy areas behind PMS, you may come across some crocodiles or something. They're collectibles, by the way, guys. They're not just decorations, they are collectibles. If you get in close enough to them, you should see in the F1 menu, I think it's hit the R key to collect it. Yes. Was it 154 collectibles? Now, like I was saying, forestry, areas on top of mountains, you name it. They could be anywhere around the map. Now, one of the things is what Mr. Dashnet did with the mining area. Below a lot of those products that are in the mining area, so the sand, the coal, the copper, there's also gold nuggets over there too. You can get it if you get close enough as well. You can collect them as well, and they give you that little bit of extra something in your pocket, which is quite nice. So yeah, if you come across a wild animal, oh, deers, elk, I'm trying to think of all the different animals that are there. But yeah, there's quite a few different ones. They were actually originally from the FS15 PV Rivers map. I had actually had them converted over for the fairgrounds, but we never ended up getting the fairgrounds brought out. So yeah, Dave ended up using them as a collectible on this map before it was released, which was quite nice. But yes, it's kind of cool. It really is. It's just a little something different. It really, really is cool. Yeah, that's another thing that should be brought back, I think. These different types of collectibles. Obviously, in 19 we had collectibles that could have been a license plate, a bottle, for example. Heck, now you're asking. Actually, that's the only ones I really remember. I think it was the Nuggets were back in 17, if I remember rightly, which was a base game thing. But yeah, definitely 19 had it, and obviously Dave added it in on 22 as a collectible as well. But yeah, one of the things I would love to see. Oh, the video games. That was the other things as well. So like FS22, FS19, stuff like that. That was another one as well. We had in 19 on Uncharted. They were a collectible. See, things like that, I think, just makes the hunts a little bit more interesting because you never know what you're going to have to find. I can tell you that one collectible is actually in the Stone Crusher where I'm bypassing right now. But for some weird reason, well, I don't know if it's just me, but did notice that even once you've collected it, the actual bottle itself, the visual, remains after collecting. It's kind of a weird one. I think that one is a little bit bugged out. But look at this beast over here. Actually, I wanted to check to see if that's even up and running at the minute. See, this is the built-in coal power factory. Oh look, Green Thumb's Manufacturing Inc. Oh man. Yes. Oh, and that's another thing as well. With your logs, if you want to sell containers of logs, you can bring them to here to sell. But in addition, if you load them onto one of the ferries, the barge, you should say, you should be able to also unload, sell them in the water side here as well. But yeah, that's kind of cool. Oh, my trees are actually growing too. I just realised. Dang, I am missing so much. I planted a load of tree saplings up there, and yep, they are starting to grow. Okay, so yeah, that is working. It's got oh yeah, okay, so it's on the basis. So for this coal power plant, this is outputting 100 per hour. Okay, that's not bad. So yeah, that should be keeping you going. But yeah, okay. So the labour, the support, and morale are boosters. Okay, good to know. But yeah, okay. That's weird. I'm sure there should be a fence or a gate there. Hmm. If not, it should be added back in. uh. But yes, who remembers when this first came out? These tankers over here on the side didn't have any textures at all. But yeah, that's another nice mod there by Mr. Green Thumb Farm. If you don't have it, it will actually do all of the products from the Silver Run map, which is kind of nice. And it works great with those Hispano Modern containers because he actually set up specifically to use with those containers, so you can load them in from behind. But if you wanted to, you could also use an offload trailer and do it the same way. It could be a little bit more buggy, but yeah, definitely worth getting it. It's nice, I like it. Who knows if it'll ever return to Farming Simulator. We shall see. We shall see. It's got a lot of work in there, that's one thing I will say. Oh, that's another thing as well. Oh my goodness, I just suddenly realised there's this field down here I still need to get planted as well. Oh, heck. Obviously, where the fairgrounds is, I ended up turning that into one big field. We'll go down there and have a little look. And, yes. I haven't even got it planted yet. Oh my goodness. I have no idea what I want to plant up here. That's the thing. See, I could plant it with just some grass and then mow it every now and again. I don't know, but I'd rather have something in there properly. Urgh. I'll have to have a look. But yeah, another thing, actually one thing I do still have to build is the bridge that's actually over here. Over in that corner. So what I might do is I'm pretty sure I've got all of the products there ready to rock and roll. So maybe on Friday stream we'll get the products into there. Whoa, cripes. And we'll see if we can get that bridge at least starting to be built on Friday stream. And I want, okay, number is it Z? X is the back door. I want the curtains. Open up the curtains. Open the door. Why is this not showing? Hmm. I've had this issue before. What was it? freaking annoying. Hey there, KW. How you doing, buddy? Oh, I'm gonna have to do it this way. Yeah, every now and again, I don't know what it is, but something must be conflicting with certain keybinds. It just does not like allowing me to open up the curtains on this trailer for some weird reason. Now, is this going to allow me to do it here? Oh, Control R. I don't know if it's going to allow me to do it here or not. Let's close you a sec. Will you allow me to auto-load from the side here? Then again, I wonder. Because sometimes we can do this. What's that? Oh, oh, there it is. Left shift Z. There we go. Yes, I remember now. You have to do it outside. Yes, that was the thing that was added, wasn't it? So a bit more realism. Yikes! Wow, holy craps! That loaded in rather high. Doing okay there? Yeah, I'm not doing too bad, thanks there, Mister. Oh heck, got a loose piggy. KW. Peeps, we seem to have a piggy out of the pen. How free range is that, eh? Okay, we'll leave that one there, that's fine. But yeah, look there. 14 pallets of truffles, nice. Piggy. Excuse me, Piggy. Do I have to adjust the fence just to bring it over to here? That could be what it is. So I've kept it to where Mr. Dave had it all marked out, so yeah, okay. I might have to look into adjusting the fence, maybe taking it somewhere over here, out from there. But yes, cool idea, I like it. You still think that Dave's best map was County? Yeah. Yeah, I will say that, yep. County definitely is a bit of a masterpiece, if you ask me. Oh, fudge monkeys. Oh. That one? There we go. They're fine for the minute. Yeah, so County, definitely. So my top, let's see, 3 maps. PB County at 1, Canyon Crossing at 2, and currently Rivers at 3. After that, I would then put Uncharted at probably 4. However, I do like certain aspects of Uncharted for FS19. The Rocky Fields, like I was saying the other day, was a great addition to the game. Obviously, it allowed you to get additional bits just by ploughing up a field. It was cool. It was definitely interesting. I did play a little bit of the 4X actually, Pleasant Valley, the modded version. In 19. That isn't too bad, but obviously that map itself ended up becoming the center area of PB County, so would you want to go for the 19 or the little 4Xs? Like, yeah. But yeah, I put probably the Pleasant Valley, the 4X, at maybe number 5. I never really played Industries much, so I can't really say a lot of that. I did do, was it one stream over there, just to show the rocky field side of things. So yeah, I can't really say much about Industries, but I do know a lot of people love Industries map. I kind of got put off it when I started seeing the red soil. I really don't like the red soil. The red dirt, it doesn't look right, but yeah. But yeah, County I would put it number one, definitely. This one that we're currently on, or I'm currently on, second, and then Rivers third. The FS25 version over. Obviously, I never played the original Rivers, so it's kind of like, well, why have that in the list if I haven't even played it? It looks great. I will say that. Obviously, Farmer Marks has been streaming a lot of it. There's features in there I still like the idea of, where you have broken vehicles around the map, where when you go up to them, you can basically trigger them and you could have a mower, a vehicle itself, or something extra for your farm, which is kind of nice. So yeah, if they've never made maps, there would be no FS with factories or additional crops. Exactly. Same with the animals as well. Obviously, every map that I've pretty much played of Dave's has had additional crops, had the factories, has had additional animals. Obviously, in this particular one, we have let's see, the ducks. We have cats, we have dogs, we have deer on this map that you can actually have in a pen and take to the butcher or take somewhere that they can be then reused, which is kind of nice. Obviously, the cats and dogs can be taken to Tashi Cat's rescue to be then used or sent off to houses for support and more morale, which is quite nice. But yes, goats. That was the other one as well. And the other, I was thinking, I know there's another animal that we had in here as well. But obviously, yeah, with 25, you now have obviously goats base game, even though they are basically a sheep, a glorified sheep. Yeah. Obviously, I guess to keep the game files down, Giants kind of cheated a little bit with the buffalo and well, the water buffalo and the goats, because technically they're just a cow or a sheep. Yeah, can't they just add it in as a new animal type instead of just using what they've originally got? I don't know. So I think it's actually classed as a subcategory for those main animals. I guess that's one reason they haven't added alpacas, because would that be classed as a subcategory animal to sheep? Uh, or would they have to add in something completely new? Who knows? But yes. Oh, by the way, hello Tim over on YouTube. Sorry, I got a little bit preoccupied. How you doing, buddy? You've missed so much. Why are you back on this old map and not 25 Rivers Remastered? So, as I mentioned the other day, obviously over the last few weeks, obviously wanted to get back into some of the older maps where people have had questions about them. So obviously the last couple of weeks been on PV County, covering a lot of things over there, and obviously what's kind of weird is it actually led into a few people going back to FS19 PV County. Obviously there has been additional comments and questions about PV County Crossing for 22, so I thought why not get in, get those answered, which I've pretty much done already now. This week, but obviously next week I will be doing back on Rivers, doing a little carrying on with my little playthrough. So yeah, don't worry, I'm getting back there. It's also nice that by going back to these older games, okay, there's not really a lot I want to achieve end game currently with these save games, because obviously it's not 25 and I'm kind of focusing on that gameplay. But one thing, yeah, like I said, the nice thing is by doing this, once I finish streaming these, okay, I'll finish off what I'm doing. but I'll end up going over to 7 Days to Die and playing a bit over there after streaming. So yeah, I've actually got quite a lot done over there, where probably if I was just focusing on 25, I really wouldn't be over there as much because I'd be constantly farming. So it's kind of a nice little bit of a break from 25, really, I suppose is the best way to put it. And obviously over the next coming months, we're going to have DLC announcements, DLC releases coming soon, so it's going to get very busy. So after the summer break, so yeah, oh, it's going to be definitely fun. I think it was September. I think it is for the third DLC release. So I guess within the next few weeks we should start hearing about the third DLC for 25, which is going to be interesting. Will it be a Mercedes type DLC or old attracted DLC? We'll have to wait and see. That's going to be fun. That's all I can say. And I just suddenly realised, I hope I added Bauer Logistics or truffles into Bauer Logistics for 22. See, this is the first time I've actually had truffles. I've never had truffles before. It's like craziness. We'll find out soon. But yes. Ah, how I've missed this save game though. It's kind of bonkers. Really is. All of the work that I've put into this map. There we go. I hope I get as many joyful hours into other save games as I did with this one. Hello deers, come on, out of the way, we're coming through. Oh, look at that, 5 deers right there, nice. Righty, let's get this unloaded here. I'm hoping it'll go in. I'm pretty sure I added them. I have no idea though. Straps off. Let's open up the back doors. I'm not sure now. And will this unload onto the ground with the curtains closed like that? I have no idea. Right, let's see. Unload right. I want the left side. Let's try there. Oh look, see, it's now it's blinking working, really? Oh, okay. Did I not add truffles into Barrow Logistics then? Oh. I guess not. Dang, why didn't anybody tell me? Not that it's going to be getting added now, but okay. Well, that's kind of crazy. So, Barrow Logistics does not accept truffles in 22. That's interesting. Okay, so where are we going to sell truffles? Anybody got any ideas where truffles go to sell? But yeah, totally agree with you, Big Tigger. I think what it is FS19 in particular, PV County, inspired a lot of the future Giants releases within the game. So obviously 22, they added in the production side of things, and obviously additional crops. Obviously in 19 we had that already. Obviously in 25 they've added in the buildables. The destructibles have now been added in as well, or destructible buildings I should say. So yeah, a lot of what is, in my opinion, on PB County in particular, has now been added in either in 22 or into 25, which is very interesting. But yeah, I got a feeling that somebody at Giants definitely has played a PV map, in particular PV County, and has added some of those features in their own little way. Right, truffles, truffles, truffles. Where the heck's truffles go? Let's select that into category truffles. TTTRS. Truffles. Go to Walmart. Okay, so I have 14 pallets here. I should get. Okay, it's a little bit early, but I am going to get a little bit of money anyway. Not as much as I'd like, but okay. Let's see, so 14 pallets, or 14,000 litres. We'll see how much this actually takes. We'll see if it was on a prime month, then yeah, I'll be getting a good couple of hundred, but I don't think I'm going to get that much with just these few. Oh, my old SGA trailers, dang. See, that's another thing I miss as well, is obviously when 22 came out, it was the SGA was just like back-to-back streams. Kinda went adrift with 25, didn't it? I did say Walmart, didn't I? Yes. So, man. Well, yeah, this is another building that we haven't got in 25 yet, which could look into getting converted as well. It's the good old Walmart. Actually, what you should do, for anybody who does do Walmart, what we should do also is add in a poster. I think on one of the buildings with T Miller's logo on it. There we go. Because obviously T Miller works at Walmart, so why the heck not? There we go, there we go, there we go. Let's see how much we get out of 14 pallets of truffles. So that is going to give me... Okay, so 177,889 plus an environmental score of 21,748, which is not bad actually. Like it. So that's the whole point of having precision farm, in my opinion, is to be able to get that additional environmental score price as well. Loving it. But that's not bad actually. That was not bad at all. But here we go. Let's get this back to Barrow Logistics and then see. Oh, it looks like the hired helper has actually finished doing that other field, so oh heck. I need to get my butt moving because I've got fields to get rolled by next stream. Heck. There we go. Oh, I need to get some hop. Oh, yes. I'm getting low on products. What the heck? Wheat, barley, oats are out from the looks of it, so I need to get that filled back up. Yikes. Dang, 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 dang. What have we got over here? Getting low on products in there as well. My goodness. My goodness. Actually, that's one factory I haven't really used much in 25 yet. And that's obviously the brick factory. I've had literally, I don't know, maybe one load of bricks out of it. Really haven't done much with it. The only problem is when you don't have much of a use for a particular factory, it doesn't really get utilized as much as it should. Oh crap. Turn. That helps. And look, I do still have my little scraper from the desert. Oh yes. I can't remember where the heck to get it from, but I think that was edited by Mr. MP7 Reaper. It was either edited or converted by him, can't remember. But yes. That definitely helps clear the desert. And one thing I will say, it really helps clearing the mine floor. Yes, all that gravel that's on the floors around the mine is... grab one of them and get going. Right then, let's see, let's see, let's see. So, let's get back over to the bogs, which is all the way over here. And looking at it, let's wait for that just to reload quickly. Oh yeah, okay, so it's just that little corner, and there's probably little bits going around the outside, so we'll get that sorted out, and then, yep, I will get into doing some fertilizing at some point. What's the time now? I'm kind of debating whether to add in courseplay just to get those bits done a little bit easier. Just for the last little while. I think I've still got it installed, because I don't think I deleted it yet, but you never know. But yes, next week, guys, we will be back on PV Rivers Remastered for FS25. Hopefully, with a potential update to Bauer Logistics. Yes. We will see. I don't know yet. I don't know if it'll be ready for next week, but definitely in the coming weeks it should be if I can get it all working correctly. We will see. But yeah, it's going to be nice getting back onto 25 in all honesty. I did load it up, obviously last night, and I was thinking, dang, I've got a lot of weeding to do. I looked at some of the fields around the start of my main farm, and I was thinking, dang, I'm going to have to get in here at some point and start getting some of these weeds removed. Yes, not good. So, yeah, but the AI, that is one thing I do miss over in 25. I will say they have done one heck of an improvement over there. At least with 25, you don't really need to worry too much about missing too many spots. Actually, in all honesty, I can honestly say the only thing that seems to be still a bit of a bug for me personally is the stone picking with the scorpion or whatever it's called, the stone picker operator thing. When obviously it turns around, because of the shape of the pickup area, with it being in a V, it kind of goes a little bit too far forward and misses the odd bit of stone off of the field. If it wasn't for that, it would be flawless in my opinion. I haven't as yet had any issues on the fields with ploughing, cultivating, seeding. It's kind of cool. It's just really that rock picking that's had the issues when turning around. But yes, they definitely overhauled that a heck of a lot. It makes you wonder, are they going to do for the next game? Oh heck, how are they going to top this? How's Mr. Dave going to top all of this? That's going to be the fun part. It's like, okay, so 19 was probably his best map. A lot of people definitely say that. Some people say the original Rivers. But yeah, with a lot of the features that were in PV County, yeah, it's definitely going to be hard. I know in 22 it was very hard to top that. So we tried. I think this map was pretty good. And consider I've got over 2,000 hours. Yeah. Actually, that's one thing as well to remember. Obviously, okay, this is just one save game. During 22, I also had multiple other little or shorter save games on this particular map. So, for testing purposes and such. So, yeah, I've got a lot of hours on this one particular map. It's terrible. Even County didn't have over 2,000. I don't think. I'm pretty sure on the save game itself it says around about 900, which is crazy. How in the heck? I still think that's wrong. I really, really do. I think at some point Steam has buggered up my hours for PV County when I switched from my laptop to the computer I've got now. Because for a little while when I first got this computer, I was running 19 through Steam. I still think it messed up my save game hours. I really do. Because I know the first 300 hours at least, I just focused primarily on buildables on county. So I would be surprised if it was off if I didn't have at least a couple of thousand hours on there. Because I was on that thing day and night. I really, really was. And even during some of Dave's streams and other people's streams back in 19, I was actually playing the game and answering questions. Oh, yes. I think that's what got it. That's probably what got me into the SGA or the PV group. Being able to answer those questions. Alright, I think that's fine. And let's go around and just double check that I didn't miss anything, and then yeah, we could probably get in quite easily. We've got 15 minutes. It'll take a couple of minutes to reload. Horseplay would be an easier option. I'm kind of debating whether to add it now. And ah. Okay, a 1 in chat say yes, add courseplay. A 2 to say no, do it yourself, you lazy sod. Let's see what you guys think. Oh, that was weird. Come on, 1 or 2 in chat, guys, just before we jump off. Oh, really agree, Thumb. Do it yourself, but use courseplay. Okay, right, gotcha. Ah, screw it, I'm going to put it in. Bugger it. Oh, and that's another thing as well. With animals. Obviously, in the mini-map here, or the PDA, you do have a whole list of animal ages for going to the butchers. So bear that in mind. So yeah, if you're unsure about what ages need to go to the butchers, just come into here and it has the whole list right there. And also with your cats and dogs, for example, it'll also tell you what ages they need to be to go over to the pet rescue as well. So 6 to 144-month-olds. 1 or 2. You are just a bunch of pain in the behinds, you really are. If I've got it there, I will activate it, so yeah. Someone has to cover you. Cover for you. Yes, thank you. And a nice drop there, Gamer Paul, by the way. 62.70. Not the highest. I think the highest I've seen was, what was it? It was 95. I think it's the highest, but very nice drop there. Indeed. Right, so let's just do a quick reload. And let me get in there quickly. Uh-oh. My screen's going light. I hope it doesn't crash. Because this is annoying. See, this is what I'm seeing right now. Look at this. Oh, there we go. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it, game. You can do it. Reload. Come on. Come on. You can do it. You can do it when you beat. Oh, no, better start. Really. Prior to that, I also said 1 for adding courseplay, 2 for doing it myself. So 1 or 2. I don't know. You take things far too literal, guys. You know that. Let's see if I've actually got cosplay in here. Still, I'm pretty sure it is. Oh, that's another one as well. Critters mod. I'd love to see that back again. Being able to have those additional animal sounds in game is kind of cool. Oh, you pain in the behinds. Well, here you go. I'll do a half and a half. Because there's a couple of people being a pain in the behind up there. But a couple of people said do it myself. Just because you want to make me sweat. And I'm not going to be on this save game much longer anyway. What I will do the fertilizing. And I'll use cosplay to do the rolling. Okay? So it's a half and a half, a compromise. Yes. Only because you're a bunch of pain in the behinds. Should have also mentioned that a lot sooner. I'd already started reloading. Dang news. But yes. Come on, game. You can do it. You can do it. Sorry, I just took a little sip of drink there. Come on, come on. But yeah, tomorrow it's going to be a fun day. My daughter is expecting her new rat cage to turn up. But yeah, first thing in the morning we're going to go. Got to send off for her driving license. Jeez, it's terrible. She she doesn't even. Well, she just literally left high school in the UK, and we're already applying for a driving license for her. So it actually turns out, and I didn't even really realize this till I actually Googled it, as last week or the week before, a child at, oh, was it 15 years and 9 months old can legally apply for a driving license in the UK, a provisional driving license this is, in the UK, but cannot drive until they're 17. It's like crazy. It really is crazy. So for a whole year and 3 months, they've got a license, but they can't do jack with it. It's like, what's the point? But yeah, I also want some form of photo ID for her. So we ended up going with the driving license, and it just saves a bit of time. Finally got one of her old teachers from her high school to sign off on the image side or picture side of things, which is kind of cool. That came through today. So yeah, tomorrow we're going to get that in the post. So hopefully by the time her college, her next college interview comes, that should be through just as an additional form of ID for her. So it's kind of cool. But yes, it's crazy. I'd never realised somebody under 16 could technically get a driving license. Yikes, in the UK. So, hmm. But yeah, 15 years and 9 month old child. I know some. I know so the guys over in America. I think was it 15 or 16-year olds are getting like lessons or used to in school, don't you? Driver's ed, I think it is called over there. That's something they need to add in over here, I think, as well. It'd be quite nice. Maybe extend the school years so it goes on for those that, like 17 or 18-year-olds, kind of like what you guys have. And obviously add in things like driver ed and stuff so it gets the kids ready for the real world, should we say. But yes. And that's another thing as well. For those that now I don't know if they still do it, but for those who did go through driver's ed in school or driver's education, whatever you want to call it as, is that just something that's in a film or is that real? If it is, did that cost you guys to pay for those lessons when you were in school as well? Because obviously, if you were to do it driving lessons separately, for here, I think they charge. I think it's about £50 for was it a couple of hours lessons. It's quite crazy. It really is crazy. See, they could add that into schools, couldn't they? That'd be kind of nice. Do 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 do. But I don't know. I really, really don't know. Sorry, I just thought somebody came in there for a moment. Get on! Get on, hurry up! Oh, I should actually get back onto the gameplay screen, shouldn't I? There we go. And I've asked questions and nobody answers. Okay, fine. I'll just shut up and carry on streaming. uh, uh, it's a hard life being me. Wow. that was a weird motorbike sound. Yes, I was kind of asking about driver's education in the UK. Is that still a thing that's done in school? And does it cost extra for those lessons? And also, what kind of age? Is that like 17, 18-year-olds? I don't know. It's going to be a little bit laggy just to start off with. But should clear in just a moment. Hopefully. It's fairly okay. Right. Let's see. Right, actually, let's get the other tractor down here and working because he's got the roller right there. But yeah, this is another reason I took out Courseplay. My frame rates are right down to like red. It is horrible. I don't know if it's how smooth it is for you guys, but literally for me driving, it's very jittery. Mm. Actually, looking at the stream itself, it doesn't look that bad, but yeah, for me personally, that is horrible. Really is horrible. Now then, I've got to try and remember how to do all this. Yikes. Yeah. Yes, they certainly did, didn't they? And that's just by adding in one mod. And this is one reason I really don't like using Courseplay. It's crazy, isn't it? Snot grass for the win. My grass is fine. The grass is fine. It's just Courseplay. That's the problem. uh, Righty. Let's go with this field first. Let's see if I can remember how to do all this. Nope, I don't want a hired helper. I want the Courseplay. Let's see. Does it? Oh, ooh. Fort fields. Okay, yeah, I remember them. Main farm. No, okay. Doesn't look like I've actually got these fields set up yet. I need to create a field. I can't remember how to do it. Yes, and I also said I was calling the compromise. Courseplay, if I can get it to work, to do the rolling, and I will do the fertilizing because, yeah, it will definitely have issues crashing into that. But currently I cannot even figure out how to get course. Oh, there we go. That's what I want. Field work here. That's what I want. Right then. Work width is fine. One tool. Number of headlands, I would do 2. Narrow field, deactivate. Start on the headlands, that is fine. Sharpened. I'll keep it on curved. I'll keep it as it is. Okay, number of rounded corners. Technically, there's no corners on that field, is there? I don't think. So we'll leave that on 0. Corner radius. We'll go clockwise, which is fine where it is now. A little bit of an overlap. Field margin, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Up and down, blah, yep, that should be okay. Generate field work. So there is the whole thing. That is fine. First waypoint, yep, which should be down there. Change that to first waypoint and go. Yes, there we go. So he should be fine. He'll do 2 headlands, then go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Oh yeah. Let's pop into here. Oh, no, I don't do a hired helper on you. I should be on the other one. There. Enter. But yeah, that's bonkers. Really is bonkers, losing like 20 frames. And in the future where Giants has fixed the memory issue, and now you can say 25 has increased performance. Yeah! See, things, in my opinion, yes. 25 is more superior than 22 in previous years, even with using cosplay. Obviously, a lot of those features where you can actually go around a field that's misshaped, should we say, without too many issues, is kind of nice base game. So, yeah. Yeah, to be honest, these fields, these 4 fields down here, are pretty much the only ones that hired helpers have always had an issue with, because obviously the shape, they're just not designed for curved shaped fields that aren't square, basically. If every field was square or rectangle or whatever, they'd be fine. But as soon as you start adding curves into corners and edges and such, that's where they a lot really do struggle. Obviously, with 25, with the way they've added up, or where they've enhanced the AI, so it actually goes around those curves and works out a lot better. Yeah. 25 is so much superior with the AI than it has been before. I like it, I like it. Nice hit there! 52.97. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Actually, one thing I will say is, before I jump off, we are going to literally be going past one of the seasonal spawners. So obviously I mentioned one, showed one by the Truffletopia there. But, in addition, if you haven't seen it already, right there, I just went past it, but right there is another seasonal spawn area for the chocolate bunnies, the coffins, and all that. So yes, cool, 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 cool. But yeah, that's crazy. Now, obviously, one of the things is I've got to take into effect that okay, I am also streaming right now, but yeah, it's not really going over what 10, 11 FPSs. It's crazy just by adding that one mod in. Yeah. What I'll probably do is just get these fields rolled and then just get rid of cosplay, full stop, end of story. It's horrible. But yeah, I'm going to be jumping into that tractor brief in a little while, and I will be doing the spraying myself. But yes. But unfortunately, you guys won't get to see it because I am going to be jumping off in a moment. Just try to get up here and get this guy parked up for now. And yes, we will be back here doing something, I have no idea, on Friday Back on Canyon Crossing. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? There he is. We can jump into you for the minute, just so you got something to look at, and not just my pretty face. See, this, I think they should have had this added into the base game a long time ago, where they can go around fields like this. But yes, but in reality we don't have a 16x maps to compare to, yeah. Well, technically we do. We've got NBC Master Dad's 16x map out there, so, but you never know. In time, we might be able to get a 16x map, but personally I love the 4x maps. I really, really do. I think they're more manageable with productions, with your farming, the whole kit and caboodle. I think a 16x map, as nice as it is to have the extra space, is a little bit too much. Obviously, I don't know, maybe a 8x map, where it's in between, could potentially be quite nice to do as well. It's like literally on the border there. I'm not quite sure. Never played a in-between map, shall we say, size. So, yeah. And it's Dax1992. Thank you very much for that follow. Welcome in right at the end. Because unfortunately, I do unfortunately need to jump off. So I need to get over to the ending screen. And say a big, huge thank you to all you guys for coming out today. Much appreciated. A big, huge thanks to obviously Mr. Coffeeman101 for the raid earlier on. Now, one thing is, like I said earlier, make sure to check out Coffeeman because I'm sure over the coming weeks he will be building more and more of those factories over on PV County. So if you want to see them actually being built, definitely check out his streams, and I'm hoping he will actually be publishing more and more of his videos for you guys to see when he is not live. But for you guys over on YouTube, I am going to call it there for now, because obviously I do need to sign off on Twitch and find someone to raid over. So until next time over on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Obviously, if you've got any questions about 22 PV Canyon Crossing, please get them in the next 48 hours, really. Preferably so I can get them answered in the stream. But yeah, for now, bye.